Watchtower Cafe, the nerdiest coffee shop in Salt Lake City.
Where you
making
can
the
use
drinks.
these mugs.
You can use those mugs. We'll fill them with coffee and other goodies. I'm also the janitor of Watchtower.
I thought
But
you
you don't
pass that
janitor
off.
and barista at the same
Not
time.
at the same time.
Please don't.
I don't. No, not anymore. Corey put a stop to that.
Well, good.
Taskmaster.
Follow Watchtower on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the social medias.
And to his right, we have Dr. Sarah.
I am Dr. Sarah. Yes, I am a doctor, a PhD doctor, not an MD doctor.
Play a hated degree.
Yep.
She's
Yeah, don't
our-
ask her if you have a cut. Don't ask.
Don't
her
ask me. I
again.
don't know how to fix it. I cut my own hand, and that ended in tragedy.
If you have
honestly.
emotional cuts, though.
I might be able to help. But yeah, Doctor of Peace on Instagram, Doctor of Peace SH on Twitter. You can also find me Doctor Peace on Facebook. And I also run academicgeeks.org, which is all about geeky stuff and academics, because that's how I earned most of my degrees.
All right, now that you know a little bit about us, we're here to talk about parenting and specifically video gaming. Now, I can only speak from my own experience. This isn't something that we haven't talked too much about as a panel on our show. But I recall being a kid in the way back in the 1980s. The video games had a bit of a stigma. You know, you weren't supposed to play too long. You
We're
weren't
just trying to check real quick. Here.
you weren't supposed to sit too close to the TV, you know, all that fun stuff that your parents would tell you just because they thought it was bad for you. And we're here to tell you that may not be the case. So I don't know who wanted to start this rigmarole. Any opening thoughts?
Well, so like one of the things that always comes across when you talk about kids and gaming is screen time in general. And you know, my whole thought with the gaming with your kids is every kid's different. So no matter what, if you read a report that's like, oh, your kid should only have an hour or two of screen time, it might not be true for your kid. So where gaming with your kids comes in play is that you can sense what time you can sense that time frame, like when your kid starts, you know, getting lethargic, when they start getting Jay gets grumpy when he plays too long.
Lily does the same.
Mine too.
Yeah, so you can like kind of gauge where that's at, and then that's where you cut your screen time. It's okay, well, you have a half an hour before you get grumpy and before you start throwing things, so you can have a half-hour screen time, or it might be 3 or 4 hours that they can go. And as long as chores are done, schoolwork is done,
Yeah.
you can have that 3 to 4 hours.
So I used to be really strict on the hour or the time limits, right? Like when we first started getting our consoles, and the kids wanted a console when the Wii was like the best thing that any. The Wii's great. I still have my Wii and it's awesome. But it was like the best thing for kids, the best console for kids to play. And my kids wanted one so bad, and I was like, no, you don't just get a Wii. We start with the NES, and you have to pass Super Mario Brothers, and then we can go to like a Sega Genesis, and then a Super NES. Like I made them go through the ranks, and then we finally got a Wii, and it was great because they kind of learned, you know, a lot about games and gaming history and all of that. But I also learned about their gaming behavior with each other and themselves. And I used to be really strict, like because I have 5 kids, I got 1 million kids, so I can't. There's not enough controllers for everybody to play everything all the time, so I had to like divide it up evenly. Everybody like gets an hour, but I've since now we've kind of acquired more and more consoles, and especially like as of recently, like within the last month or so, I've kind of lifted any specific screen time regulations. I just let them play, and we have one rule, and that is just 0 tolerance for fighting or arguing. The second they fight, then it goes off. No questions, nothing. It's just done. Game is off, and that helps them kind of be better losers. You know, it helps them resolve their issues before the argument gets too heated. And I can even hear them, like I won't even be in the room, and I can overhear them kind of resolving their arguments very calmly because they don't want the game turned off.
Shh, don't let Dad hear.
Yeah, exactly. But I can hear. I hear it. And I feel like for my kids, I don't think they need to have a limited amount of screen time. I've been kind of experimenting with them, especially those last couple of weeks of just lifting any time. Like, I haven't even made them go play outside. They go play outside when they want to play outside.
Yeah.
But they'll sit in front of, Legend of Zelda all day too. And I'm just trying to like look at the results of how that affects them. And I honestly haven't seen any negative effects.
So for me with Lily, we actually started out with console gaming, or not console gaming, with tablet gaming because we had a tablet for her. We wanted to do educational games, so we started out with that. And it just kind of evolved into her watching videos on YouTube of Five Nights at Freddy. So now we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's a lot. And, gaming with her has really helped me because I have to sit down with her and I literally have to help her. She's only 5. She's almost 5. She's not even 5 yet. Very soon. But so for me to be able to sit down, I have to learn patience to help her actually learn how to maneuver these games while at the same time teaching her she also needs to be patient. She can't throw the iPad if she gets frustrated. So for me with her, it's been really a lesson in teaching my child how to be patient, how to problem solve, how to troubleshoot. And it's been really effective, especially as she's gotten older. And we started introducing her to console games, and we introduced her to Disney Infinity. It's just kind of taken off. And that's Disney Infinity, even though they're not making the game anymore, that's really become our game to play. And she will ask me, Mom, can we play Disney Infinity? And we will sit down. We don't do any of the story mode. We're just in the main playground, and we're usually throwing each other off the side and laughing about it. But for her, that's a real way for us to sit and kind of bond and have fun together.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, in addition to all of that, it's family time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, gaming time can be family time, and even if I'm not playing with the kids, they're playing with each other.
Yeah.
They're playing with, and even if the big game is Legend of Zelda, is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Right now in the house, and it's a one-player game, but they'll figure out like different ways to play together. Like, the Hylian will help the assassin kind of work through some of the more difficult, and then he in turn will help his little sister, Princess Deadpool, with some of the problems that she's having on the game. And it's kind of like a chain reaction of like one person has passed the game so many times, so he knows all the tricks, and they kind of keep passing information down and helping each other out. There's also they'll do because with the Joy-Cons, what they'll do is split the Joy-Cons and play Breath of the Wild with 2 people, each controlling one half and one side.
I've seen people do that before. It's quite
It's super
entertaining
funny to
watch.
watch her play.
Yeah. 2 people, 1 controller.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
like when they get into battles and stuff, that's when it's really funny. But
It's a good way to work on teamwork.
yeah, it's also a good way to start arguments and fights.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So Lily actually, I got Horizon Zero Dawn when it came out, and she picked that up so fast. Like I couldn't believe how quickly she was able to pick up the controls, and she is a better hunter than I am. She can shoot those rabbits like nothing else on Horizon Zero Dawn. Couldn't believe it. So I mean,
I believe it.
It's a great way for kids
I've
to
met Lily.
learn stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, there's studies too that like show that with puzzle games, any game that's specifically puzzle based, that those are the games that will help your kids with spatial reasoning, and they'll help your kids with so many other things, like especially with online gaming, you have socialization skills. Yeah, there's a bunch of 12-year-olds talking about my mom, but
They're mostly right.
Yeah.
Who doesn't talk about your mom? Let's be honest.
yeah, everybody talks about my mom. But there's a lot of skills that gaming can teach kids if it's done in the right way. And I'm not saying, sit down with your kids and play Grand Theft Auto for 5 hours, but I mean...
But if you do, I don't judge you.
I think
Yeah,
that was
but
the
I mean,
first
like,
game Lily
even-
watched us play was Grand Theft Auto 5. So
I don't
But like
judge.
even like a game like Grand Theft Auto has things that can teach your kids, don't punch cops.
So, like, I have a question about that because I was reading some articles about the difference between educational games, like specifically trying to teach them math or geography, things
And I
that
have
were
bought those games for my kids.
right versus just traditional like mainstream video games. I mean, because I don't know. I feel like now, the traditional games like the non-education focused games are every bit as educational as the ones that
Yeah.
and they're
We
way
just
more
didn't
fun,
realize how.
and kids get way more involved in them. They get way more passionate about them, and I don't think they learn anything more from.
what's funny is converse to what Sarah was saying, that she has to kind of help. And now, granted, Lily's younger than my two. Dazzler has been playing her Breath of the Wild, and if I sit there and watch her, I'm going to drive both of us crazy. So I have to. I walk out of the room.
Are you a backseat gamer?
Well, she either has to play on the gamepad or I have to go somewhere else. I can't do it. And she's had to figure out all of these puzzles. I mean, she might ask me where something is, but not how to do something. And I think that's so great. I mean, this is her first, the closest she's gotten to playing to a pretty difficult game. And she's, already beat it a couple of times. And I think, that her being able to do that and be able to do it her way has probably done quite a bit for her.
Well, that's what Princess Deadpool has been doing. Did you pass it yet? No, not yet. How close?
Just barely got my first one. I'm still defeating third but I'm
So your
getting
first
my
First Divine Beast.
Your first Divine Beast. Cool. They
See,
grow
and
up
I
so
know-
fast.
Well, I think that's where Dazzler would have problems was the boss battles. But she, after her first playthrough, she beats the game, which I was impressed because that's not, for that being your first Zelda game, that's pretty kind of impressive.
Yeah.
She decided to start trying to, do her version of speedrun it. She tried to beat a couple of Divine Beasts in one day, and I'm like, crap, this kid's incorrigible, and I have no desire to stop it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I feel like something else that sitting with your kids while they're gaming can do is you look at how frustrated they get when they can't do something.
Yeah.
Jay loses it when he can't do something.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
Yeah. If you listen to the podcast, there's an episode we recorded at a home, and you can hear him
seen it
screaming
happen.
in.
It was Infinity. They were
Disney
playing
Infinity.
Infinity, and he didn't like one of the characters that was piloting the Millennium Falcon
There
or
was some
something.
screaming,
Yeah.
there was some crying, and Joe was upset too.
He was mad. Were you mad because Black Panther was flying a TIE fighter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And he's like, this doesn't happen in real life. Like nothing happens
This
in real life.
cannot be.
But something that helps them is like this is a teaching moment. You can teach them like, well, if you're getting frustrated, take a step back, breathe. That's when you start discussing break times, like breaks in games. Don't sit through a game and power through it if you can't sit through it.
And if you have to pee, the game pauses.
Yeah.
That was a
Please.
tough
That's a tough
lesson to
one.
learn for me.
That was a tough lesson to learn for Jay.
Yeah.
So something that I've been doing with Lily is she still is not reading, and I've been having a hard time getting her to sit down and read with me, which is really disappointing because I was an avid reader from the age of 3. So I've been using the video game, specifically Horizon Zero Dawn, because it's got lore, to make her sit down and we read the lore, and she's learning words, she's learning some of the shorter sight words. So even just something as simple as that within a game can help your kid
And like
learn.
even the Zelda games.
Yeah.
A lot of
Helping
or the
them to
Telltale
read.
games.
Yeah.
They're great for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put subtitles on every game
Yeah,
we play.
I do too.
And I'll turn the TV down, and Jay's like, "Wait, what are they saying?" It's like, "You have to read it, buddy."
Yeah,
And he's like,
so
"It's going too fast." I'm like, then you have to read faster.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think
subtitle,
I just think that the mainstream video games are just way more fun than the educational, specifically educational games. And I think you learn just as much from those games
Definitely.
as you do
Yeah.
from the educational
Well,
ones.
like-
They're just more fun.
For educational games, I usually we only download like a lot of educational games on the tablet because that's where most of the focus is on. Like we have tons of educational games on his tablet because that's where he knows. Okay, if I'm going to play on the tablet, yes, I have Minecraft on there, but I also have my reading game and my math game and all these games that they've given him at the school. And
But I mean, they're fun. Those
Yeah,
educational
yeah.
games are fun, but you're not going to put the same amount of hours as you are going to put in like
No.
on Skyrim.
Yeah,
right?
well, like the one thing I'll say about like Minecraft is Jay loves Legos, and I've never seen him he gets frustrated when he tries to build something if it doesn't come out the way he wants it. But after playing Minecraft for a few hours, he just lets his mind soar, and he's built he's like that Lego character in the Lego movie, the Spaceman. He just yells, "Rockets! Rocket ship! Spaceship!" And he'll build them from scratch with no instructions, no just random pieces. He'll just put it all together, and it's because he's learned how to do things like that in Minecraft.
What kind of board gaming do you guys do with your kids?
Oh man, Werewolf is our game right now.
Yeah,
That's
Werewolf.
Werewolf
What is Werewolf?
Werewolf is the greatest.
Werewolf is not a board game.
Well, tabletop.
Tabletop.
I'm not even sure I call it that.
Really? Well, there's cards.
There's cards involved, but there is no table involved in that.
True.
All right, fine. Okay, let's.
Let's see. What?
Well, I mean, we're a Monopoly family, so we play like all the different kinds of Monopolies that there are.
Maybe we'll just say
Traditionals.
non-video game.
King of Tokyo is one of my kids' favorites.
Yeah.
I make Lily help me with my D&D games.
Yeah, D&D is great.
Because she likes to roll the dice, and I make her count it up and add it up. And
I've been playing a lot of X-Wing with the older kids.
I want to play that.
Let's play. I have all
I need to
the
play
stuff.
that someday.
Let's do it.
Jay is a big chess player.
Chess.
What?
Yeah.
We
That's
play
a
a lot of
surprise.
chess in our family too.
You need to teach Lily how to play chess because she really wants to learn how to play
Oh,
it.
Jay knows how to play way better
I'm
than
sorry,
I
I should have played it. How old are your kids? So I can kind of know. what
Mine's
Sure,
5.
yeah.
You have one that's 5?
One that's 5.
I 17, 15, 14, 12, 10.
You're the ones going to answer my questions. Go ahead.
6.
21, 18, 9, and 7.
So one of my questions. I'm sorry, one of my kids
Sure.
tried to call me. He's going to do this. I ignored my kid.
I do too.
That's okay. We all do
That's-
it.
You know, we
You-
got in
sometimes
there,
you have
and
to
we
ignore your
got in
kid.
that first panel with Ed, and my kids are like, "No, you have to stay with us." So as soon as we got in there, I'm like, "Look, you move here, you move here, you move
Yeah.
here. Bye."
Yeah. Teach
So
them fly.
my question is this, because of course, you know, my husband's a techie and he programs, but not games. He does websites. My 14-year-old has already programmed several games.
Awesome.
Oh my word.
He's the future.
Okay, my 14-year-old has already started a gaming company and they are writing their first game with his friends.
Fantastic.
Nice.
That's
I
fantastic.
am so excited for him because I can see him really going to the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
Because he's starting so young. But my question for you guys, especially those of you with older kids, how do you correlate the grades they get in school and how do you tell them this is still important? And so how do you relate the grades that they're getting to their video gaming and to the programs they're writing?
If
Because my 14-year-old is failing several important key classes because he's focused too much on the stuff for me that doesn't matter right now.
yeah.
Can I
it's
ask
just-
what he's failing?
Math and English.
He needs math. He needs both of those for
I know
programming.
he needs math.
So I was a programmer in a former life. I was writing test programs and doing a lot of testing of video games. He needs both math and English to write programs, and he needs to understand that.
Well, if you want to market and try to sell your game to companies, you need those English.
You need those English skills. So if programming is math, it really is just math and logic. And sometimes, so let me be honest, I almost didn't graduate from high school, and now I have a PhD. Don't always put I mean, grades are important, but don't always put so much emphasis on the fact that this is going to apply in the future, because sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But he needs to understand and realize
The real problem is not that he doesn't understand the math.
he doesn't do the work.
He doesn't turn in his
Yeah,
homework.
that's
Yep.
what I was going
He
to say.
doesn't
Like
do the work.
clearly,
He
if
can
he's
do the work, he just doesn't turn it in.
if he is writing programs, if he's creating video games,
He knows what
he
he's
doesn't
doing.
have any problem with English and math.
No, he doesn't.
He has no problem.
He has
But
trouble.
is what I tell my kids. My kids are all super smart as well, and sometimes their grades.
And that was my
slip.
problem. I was the same
And
way.
it's just a conversation of like, you have to know how to play the game. When you become an adult, you have to know how to play the like within that world. You might be the smartest kid in the classroom, but if you're not turning in the work, then you're going to be restricted from things that you want to do. It gets you less freedom, and you don't have as many tools as you can to work with.
You
So
know,
Turn it into a game in itself.
turn it
Yeah.
into a game itself. Like you
Yeah.
have to learn how to play the game. Like you have to turn in your homework. And what I've started telling the biggest gamer in my house is the Highland. He's the 15-year-old. He loves gaming, and I don't restrict him from games unless he has to he has to handle the stuff that he needs to take care of. Turning in finishing your homework, turning it in. The grades are like, as long as he's doing the work, as long as I'm satisfied with what he's doing, then I'm not super, caught up on the grades. But no D's or F's. They're not D and F students, so anything like they could get straight C's and I'd be fine with it as long as they're doing the work and proving to me that they are continuing to educate themselves and.
The biggest issue with my 14-year-old is I've asked him, why can't you do this? And he's like, because I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not
so that's where
interesting.
It does matter because if you want to do this for a career, you're going to need to go to college, and I can't afford to send you. So
Yeah.
if you're going to get a scholarship, let's work
and
backwards.
so he
You have to do
the
grades,
things that
you
are
have to-
important to him, like he because of his age.
So I actually have a comment. We're both college students right now. He's going into computer science right now. And I which that's a lot of math just for programming. And I'm like, that's a lot of math. And so even at a young age, if you start early, if you're in AP Calculus in your senior year of high school, you are farther ahead than most of the students.
Way further ahead than I would have been.
Again, it provides more opportunity.
Yeah.
If he's turning in his homework, he has more opportunities. If he wants to be a gaming programmer, then he needs to learn how to play this game of I have to do these things
Of
so that I
being
can
an
do
adult.
what I want to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh, yeah.
Sorry, just, I have 2 teenagers as well. If you're okay with a little bit of adult content, not a ton, but some, Persona as a series, actually one of the things that they deal with in the game is time management, including school. To the point where you cannot excel at the game unless your character is taking time for study.
That's great.
Wow.
They've been chastised by teachers. Yeah, Persona. 4 and 5 are the 2 that I would recommend for about age 14. I wouldn't go much further back. They get pretty, like, even darker earlier. But yeah, Persona 4 and 5, excellent as far as time and resource management for teenagers. And it is specifically high school students that don't want to do it, but they get chastised by their friends, by their teachers. There are certain activities that they don't get to engage in the game if they haven't done their study.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's made a big difference.
That's cool.
Thank you.
I hope that
Persona.
helps.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to, with me, I had to find their motivation. My son, he could do the work, he didn't want to do the work. He's my oldest. And you just, it comes down to knowing your kid, and that can be a whole different can of worms. But you have to, like, at that age, they want to be an adult because they think you can just do whatever you want, which
You can.
But
You might get in a little trouble.
I could have ice cream
you have
for
to-
breakfast
You,
if I
have to
want.
outweigh- you also are weighing the consequences, which they're not doing. See, they want the carrot, but don't realize the stick's there too.
They want the quick fix.
Yeah. So you have to find a way to just, it's not.
Thanks, guys. And thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions right now? No?
Comments, concerns.
Parenting advice. I need some.
Yeah, we always need better.
James is on Yelp, you can rate us.
Yeah.
Okay. My kids range in age from 9 to 14. So
Okay.
Yeah.
a lot of times my 9-year-old just ends up sitting and watching.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of frustrates me. It's like I'll ask a 10-year-old, why are you not playing a 2-player game? Because I'm playing one player.
That's something I've had to deal with, and I know James has dealt with it with Jay too, is our kids like to watch other people play games,
Yeah.
but they may not necessarily be interested in playing the game themselves. And I'm a lot like that too. I love watching, there's one specific gamer who I watch every day when he comes on. I'm going to plug him here, Cheese Whiz Streams. Go watch him on Twitch. He's funny. He's hilarious. He's got a great community. But she will just sit there and watch people play games. And I'm like, she will watch people play Five Nights at Freddy. I'm like, you've got this on your tablet. Why don't you go play it? She's like, no, I want to watch other people play it. I think part of that is just they're also learning the story. They're also learning how to play it. I will go and watch video tutorials of people playing games if I get stuck, right? It's another way of learning the game.
Yeah, if you take
But
that,
yeah.
if you have that 1 degree of separation, you might pick up so many more
Something,
things.
yeah.
Well, and like for Jay, he likes the story.
Mm-hmm.
He will play games, but he plays for the story. He doesn't play for anything else but to continue the story.
And I'm the same way. I play for the story.
Yeah, so for him, when he watches videos of other people playing games, he gets frustrated because people are like talking while they're playing. And he's like, I can't hear the story. And it's like, then why don't you play the game? Because I just want to watch it like a movie. And it's like, okay, then I'll buy it and I'll play it. No, you're terrible at it.
He's finding the wrong YouTube videos. He has to find the walkthroughs with no commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, so
See,
that's
that bothers me way less than when you watch a video and people have like terrible equipment and their sound is awful.
you know what? I'd rather watch people play games than watch those damn blind bag videos ever again.
Then you have to delete YouTube Kids off your
I
tablet.
know. Do you have any more questions for us, Johnny?
No, I mean, it's kind of a broad topic. I mean, it's just, like I said, we've come a long way in the 30 plus years that we've been gaming, and the stigma that came along with it. From the days. Sarah and I started out on Atari 2600.
Yep.
I don't know about you guys. Where did you first start?
Pong.
Pong.
Yeah.
Pong was literally my first video game. My uncle had like an original thing. He hooked it up to the TV, and I was really, really young, and played the hell out of that on a little black and white screen TV. And
Yeah, we had the Atari 2600. I think we even had the ET game. I don't remember being as bad as people say.
that damn game.
I was telling Johnny earlier, I remembered a game we played called Sword Quest that was just awful, and it was based on astrology signs. We played, my brother and I played that like all the time, and I don't think we ever got anywhere in the game, but we played it anyway.
Yeah, my first like game that I really became immersed and involved in was a computer game. Like we had a Macintosh.
Oregon Trail?
Tandy 5000. No, it was actually King's Quest. King's Quest was my jam. Like hours and hours and days playing King's Quest on the computer.
Do our kids even play Oregon Trail anymore? Yeah, they still do?
More as a meme.
It's more as a meme, died of, you've
Do you
died
know
of
if there is
dysentery.
a card game, Oregon Trail card game?
Yeah.
I
Target,
think we
like,
need to get that at
1999.
Watchtower.
Yeah.
It's $20.
I've seen it.
Um,
Like, God, do kids even play the games we played anymore?
Mine do.
Yeah.
Mine do.
Lily
'Cause-
loves your
'cause-
Pac-Man machine at
Yeah,
Watchtower. She's
yeah.
always wanted to play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like my first game, and it's gonna show that I'm the youngest. It was Pitfall on the Mac 2, and that was because it was in my kindergarten. We had the computer lab in my kindergarten class, and that's what we had. And that's so like we had my parents had an Atari, but I wasn't allowed to touch it because I break things. So I wasn't allowed to play the console games for a while.
You still break things.
I still break things.
I've seen it happen.
But now I pay for it with my wife's money because I'm a stay-at-home dad. But yeah,
That's cool. I was just gonna ask you, what do each of you consider to be the best current gen console or computer option?
Best?
Gaming families.
Oh, for families. For families.
Well, so,
Well-
so when we were talking about screen time and only one at a time, what I love personally in my house is to my TV, I have hooked up my Switch and my Wii U so they can both play at the same time and leave each other alone. And then my son's got his, Xbox One downstairs, and we see him when he wants to eat.
How old is that one?
21.
Yeah, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Just,
I don't want to know what's going on.
I think for me, so I've always been a PlayStation guy. Like, for me and my brothers, we always would do like Tekken Tag and NHL, and we'd always do like family kind of games.
Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stefan.
But we, at my house now, we have the PS4 and a PS3. And most of the games we play as a family are the karaoke games. We love karaoke. But then, like, we do, like, the Lego Marvel, and my kid's super into all the Lego games. So we have all those on the PS3, and we'll just pull the PS3 upstairs sometimes and just play Lego Marvel all day.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel is awesome.
Yeah, or Disney
Super fun.
Infinity. It's sad that
Infinity
it's
is
gone.
great too. Infinity is
And I was
awesome.
kind of irritated with that because my kid just got into it.
Yeah, same here.
And we started buying all the things, and all of a sudden we're not making Infinity anymore. But it's still playable. You can still, if you have the disc, you can still play it, even if you
Speaking
have it
of,
downloaded on your.
If you guys stay till the end, you might get a prize. So we got some Disney Infinity
Yeah.
stuff to give away.
Other than mugs.
So for me, that's something that I like that question because that's something that I'm constantly with how many kids I have. Gaming becomes a little bit tricky because we all like playing video games, but there are like very few games that we can play together as a family. The first family game that we got was Little Big Planet because we could play at least 4 of us at the same time, and we just would switch out every once in a while. But now, Nintendo Switch, and Switch, we could play up to 8 people on Bomberman, things like that. Like that's been awesome for us.
Yeah, or we link up our 3DS or 2DS, and we'll play Mario Party or
Yeah, because you can like with the Switch,
real basic games.
you can get enough Joy-Cons. I mean, the Joy-Cons are a little expensive,
Yeah.
but for a gaming family like us, it's worth it. It's our family time. It's what we do
Yeah.
together as a family, and we could spend hours on Bomberman, our entire family playing, and that's
Yeah, well, and something too to think about is like specifically family type gaming, Nintendo hands down for.
I was going to say, we were a Nintendo family growing up. I still have my Nintendo 64 hooked up in my bedroom.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean they've always
Yeah.
had, in my opinion, the best multiplayer games.
Yeah, GameCube had 4-player
Mario Kart,
option,
man.
and
Mario Kart. I can't wait to get
64
Lily on
had
Mario
4-player
Kart.
64 had. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I mean, like you look
GoldenEye.
at
Oh,
GoldenEye 4-player.
GoldenEye. Who played
That was my
GoldenEye?
jam when I was.
Solve your problems
Yeah.
in Smash Bros.
I've never put so many hours into a game that I sucked so
Yeah.
bad at.
Well, and it's so funny because like his older kids and I will play Call of Duty, but we'll like put all the settings to like GoldenEye headshots and gun style. And it's
But
always-
you know what? I raised them on GoldenEye. They played a lot of GoldenEye back when we were doing the
well,
64.
they're terrible at the Call of Duty version.
They are my kids.
So which one of them uses Odd Job?
Oddjob
There's
was
always
my
one.
Oddjob was my jam because
So-
I was like, this guy knows what it's like to be short.
Yeah. Oh.
He can't get shot.
I don't know that life. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So for my
You know,
family,
they just gaga.
So for my family, like I said, Nintendo is kind of the go-to system that we had. Right now, we mostly use our Xbox One just because we've got the most games for it. And we use it a lot for more than just gaming. We watch movies on it. We watch YouTube on it. We do a whole bunch of things on our Xbox One. So right now, for our family, that is probably the best console for us. And we still even have our Xbox 360 that we occasionally play games on every once in a while.
What family games do you play on your Xbox?
Disney Infinity is the big one for the family, for my daughter. She's 5, and she also loves Horizon Zero Dawn, which is kind of crazy, but she's really, really good at it. She doesn't so much play the story; she's more out in the wild, killing the beasts and killing the mechanical creatures. But those two are really big. She loves to just wander around in Skyrim. So really, it just depends on your family and your kids. It really depends on what they're interested in. Lily really loves horror. I'm not going to show her Resident Evil 7, even though I own it.
Do it.
No.
Come on.
No,
What do you
she's
think's
just.
gonna happen? She's gonna like.
I don't know. She just.
see it,
I
like,
fell
play it,
off
and
my
then
couch.
She's gonna
you're
turn
gonna
into.
like
She's gonna
wake
turn
up, and she's gonna be in the gutter with like a
No.
needle in her arm.
No, she's gonna turn it. She's gonna turn into that family in
did this
Resident
to
Evil
me.
7.
Resident Evil
Resident
7.
Evil
She's gonna cut off my hand.
Video
and-
games.
Capcom, how could
Yeah, the
you?
Christians are
I'm
gonna
not-
come
I'm
after
not
you
ready.
after that,
I'm
man.
not ready to show her that one yet. She just watched Crimson
So,
Peak a few days
one-
ago. But yeah, know your kids. Know what are they interested in? What is
Another
your family
one
interested in?
that we like to play, like, so I do have a lot of kids, and since the multiplayer games are limited, one that we like to do is we're big Injustice fans, and
Which
so
I
we'll do
still need to
Injustice
get.
tournaments or Mortal Kombat tournaments where it's just like last man stand. And we just kind of keep on. We'll either do like a big like a bracket. And then the winner gets like I'll just go to the dollar store and get some prizes, and like the winner gets some dumb prizes, or we'll just kind of keep on play. We'll play for hours, and then whoever loses passes the controller.
Nice.
So the loser raises the butt cheeks, is what we say.
We played Jeopardy a lot as a kid on the NES. I don't know if anybody ever else played that Jeopardy game on NES, but we played that a
were
lot
Wheel
as a
of
family.
Fortune.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I love Wheel of
That was a
Fortune.
good one on NES too. So really, just play to what your kids like. If they like the RPGs, embrace it and just kind of let them go and explore. Maybe not so much play the story. Like for mine, she's only 5. She doesn't understand the story, but she likes to wander around and find things.
Yeah, we're probably the one family that liked Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival because I can play that with my girls. And it's fun.
Which is funny because like.
More copies of it.
Yeah, I've never played Animal Crossing, neither has Jay, but he knows all about it. And
You
can
watch
tell you-
videos?
Yeah, he watches videos of people playing it, and then he tells me, he's like, we need to get Animal Crossing. We don't have anything to play Animal Crossing on. We need to get something. Get a job.
I was on
Then he looks at me, you get a job.
My 14-year-old did that when he was 12. He wanted his own DS. So we're like, good, go buy one.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
and-
finding it. I'm like,
No,
"Okay,
no
good."
one's stopping you. Go right
Well,
ahead.
That's the
He
thing.
did though. He was babysitting in yard work until he raised enough money. He was about 12 years old and he bought his own.
Yeah,
Nice,
my 15-year-old, the Highland, he raised enough money to buy his own Switch, and he had been working for months, to get enough money, and he was so excited that he had enough money to get it the night of release, and so I had some insider information from some
He
friends.
knows a guy that knows a guy.
I know a guy, and knew how many Switches were going to be at the different places, and so we sat and waited in line at Best Buy for 8 hours, 7 hours outside, and it was a cool experience. I will never do that again, but he can.
And I
I showed
drove
him
by
how. Now.
laughing at them the entire time.
You are a jerk.
So I have another perfect question. Are you, that fulfill your question enough?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to take time away if you're not satisfied. Okay, so here's my next question, and I'll field answers from anyone in the room. How
you wanna-
trustworthy are the ERSB ratings?
Not at
See,
all.
and
I don't even pay
I don't even
attention
pay
to them.
attention to them either.
Rated, it's like, oh my gosh, that means
I-
nothing to me.
you
I
know
don't
what,
know.
I don't,
What's in the game, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's more important for you to know what your kid can handle.
so, yeah, like with Lily, she loves horror, and she asked to watch Crimson Peak a few nights ago, and I'm like, okay, there's gonna be a couple parts I'm gonna skip over just because they make me cringe. And she's 5. And she loved it, and she woke up this morning, she's like, I dreamt about Mickey Mouse and the Arts Festival. I'm like, okay, yeah, it didn't bother you at all. So I don't think ratings are really just to tell you what's in it. You gotta know, like this is kind of our philosophy is know your kid. You know, that's kind of our thing is know your kid. Some kids can't handle that. She didn't like the Dark Crystal. She thought the Dark Crystal was scary, but Crimson Peak is fine.
This is scary.
I love the Dark
Yeah,
Crystals.
so
Those are
do
my
I.
favorite
Yeah.
movies in the world.
I don't think video game ratings help a lot, but I also think that video games are much more violent than movies and television are. They seem
Because
to,
they can.
Yeah, they can be. They can show a lot
It's
more
all
content.
fiction-
So
you know, it's all computer animated
if
violence.
I would say if you're worried about it, definitely watch videos, watch people streaming it beforehand, and then if you're okay with the content, then go with it. But don't trust the rating.
That's where, as a parent, YouTube is going to help you.
Yeah.
You can research the game in a way that
YouTube
our
and
parents
Twitch.
couldn't.
Yeah, I'd say if you're concerned at all, YouTube. Just do your research. Yeah, there's enough free content out there. You can research it, and if you have any sort of reservation or curiosity about anything at all.
All right, guys, I think we're going to have to kind of wrap it up. We don't want to leave the next panel time to get in here and get ready.
Yes,
so
but we do have some giveaways.
we should give some stuff away.
Oh, one more
Question.
question. Go ahead.
What did you guys start your kids off gaming or gaming in general? What game did you
My oldest, it was Mario 64, and then I had some very like Sesame Street kid games on the original
Yeah.
Game Boy.
what age?
He was not even 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just let him run around Mario 64 and figure it out for himself. You know, I didn't care. You know, he didn't care if he was completing an objective. He was just running around. With my younger girls, I think it was more tablets, like you are with Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Lily, I really started out on tablet games. Starfall, which is an educational game that we both really love that she play. She loves like Whisker Haven, which is a pet game where you're taking care of pets. So for her, I started her out on the tablet, and we moved her into console as she got a little bit older.
For me, like the first game that Jay ever played was Lego Marvel, and he was 2.5, 3. He could barely like hold the controller for more than an hour. And we really wouldn't start like him like playing. He would just like sit next to me and like watch my finger work and like watch how the controls work, and then I would give him like 10 minutes and see how long he could run around without throwing the controller. But for me, like that game seemed to do everything that I wanted it to do in a first game for a kid. He was thinking about how there would be a coin up on top of a building, and it's like, okay, well, how do I get that? I'm Spider-Man. What do I do? And
whip.
yeah, and then like he would have to figure out how to do that. He would have to figure out which character had the right power to get certain things, and it made him think. And because of that, he knows so much more about Marvel superheroes and.
He does.
It's fun to watch him question reality when he realizes that Howard the Duck can't fly.
Yeah. But like the funny thing is like the Lego Marvel game also has subtitles automatically, and so he was reading at a much younger age than normal kids because he had that game going, and he would hear how the words sounded and how everything was supposed to go. So like when he was in preschool, I got a lot of compliments from his teachers saying he knows words that I didn't even know when I was 17 years old. And it's like, well, we read comic books and play video games. And so, yeah, it's an open world game that has characters he knows, and they're all Legos, so they don't die. They just explode and come back.
And yeah, that's an easy game to pick up, but it can be difficult to get everything like 100%. So that's a good place to start.
I answered this before you guys came in, but basically I made my kids go through the ranks. So we started with NES, Super Mario, all of like, and they had to pass some games or at least get significantly far before we would get the Sega Genesis. and then Super Nintendo, and then like just kind of like went through all the retro games before we got the Wii, which was like the top prize at the time. And they were young. I think this one was probably like 6, five or 6, maybe younger. I don't know, something like that. No, you were younger. You were like 4 when you started playing video games. Yeah, probably like 4. No.
So we
And
have
now, like they'll go back and forth from playing Breath of the Wild to Pac-Man to Mario, and like they love all of the games the same. So.
We even played Snow Bros today.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Sarah, how do you want to do these? giveaways?
So I have a couple of giveaways. I think almost everybody in here
We
is
need a
going to
mug.
get something. Yes, so we got mugs for everybody.
Everyone,
But
who
we-
doesn't have a
You
mug?
get a mug. And
You
you
get
get
a
a
mug.
mug. And you get a mug.
But I do have
People outside,
I do have
come
some
get a
t-shirts. Now I
mug.
know you guys back there have a PS4, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm going to make sure they get the PS4 prize because they were the first ones in.
They were the first ones in. Our first.
So PlayStation 4?
PlayStation 4.
So I just want to share with you, my 3-year-old started out
Giving away mugs.
for the original Xbox. I got my husband one of those sit-down car. like,
Oh yeah,
things,
yeah.
everything.
Those are cool.
And that's what my 3-year-old started on.
Yeah.
Because he would sit on my husband's lap and my husband would do the pedals and he would do the string.
Who has an Xbox One?
That's cool.
A gift.
Don't forget who gave it to you.
Does anybody have a Wii U?
Hey, hey.
No, we don't. I got one of these. 4 Xboxes.
If you already have this, please gift it to somebody who doesn't, because this is the best gift ever.
Who has a Wii U?
Just me.
Who has a Wii U?
All right.
There, you can have a Wii U.
All right. I win.
Yay!
I get a participation
Hold on.
trophy.
He's not giving away a Wii U, she's giving away something to plug in.
No, it's a game. It's a game.
Have one, so-
Everybody got mugs?
Did everyone get a mug?
Sweet.
All right.
Well, I didn't.
You weren't here. all the way.
Yeah, that's right. You came late.
Shame.
Shame. I turned on my flashlight.
Way to go.
Whoops.
How many of you are gonna be in the panel tonight about gaming together as a family?
Me.
The one at 5 o'clock?
I'm
Is
on
it
one
the
at 5
throwing
and one
the
at
iPad
6.
one?
About
Where's the throwing the
Yeah.
iPads?
Yeah.
I'll be on it.
I'm actually moderating that panel.
You're moderating
so
it?
I'm moderating
Oh, sweet.
it. That was
We're in
my
good shape
idea.
then.
I'm on.
So-
I think I'm on a different panel. I'm on the Everything PlayStation panel, which I think that's next.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys.
Any more of the? Oh, don't forget you can find our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Just Geek Parenting Podcast.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr.
You can most likely find at least one of us at Watchtower Cafe.
It'll
some-
probably be
at some
me.
point during the day.
1588 South State Street.
Yeah.
So
So
if you guys don't have any questions or?
any more? Thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank
Hope
you
you
very
enjoyed it. Bye.
Thank you.